What's up, Turdlings? Today we're going to be looking at how you can maximize your score in Zombie Raid, Endless Legion, and Explore all at the same time, while also having a very easy arena day to maximize your rewards in all of the events. Turd Tips by Turd Nugent. So we're less than an hour away from the zombie raid attack, and what we're going to be doing for that zombie raid is we're going to be resetting our second and third truck and dedicating all of our memento coins to a single truck. Now, what this is going to do for us is that one single truck is going to enable us to get further in the zombie raid because our heroes will be higher level. It's also going to enable us to push Explore further, have a really easy time in the arena for the day, as well as push our Endless Zombie Horde score for the day up much higher than it would normally be if our memento coins were split among 2 or 3 trucks. For those of you who have seen my lineup compositions video, I run the 2-split composition to where I have one really strong lineup of 5 heroes that I split into 2 lineups with the addition of 5 not so leveled up heroes. One of the benefits of this composition is that it only runs 2 trucks, and so the reset cost for pushing Explore and just moving all of your Mento to one lineup is much cheaper on diamonds than it would be if you were running 3 trucks and had to reset 10 heroes. Here we were only resetting 5 heroes, and there are 5 lowest level heroes already. If you're in Season 1 or beyond, you're probably using a hero contract that you're going to have to terminate in order to reset those heroes that are under contract. Then we can back out of here and head over to our satellite dish and start resetting some heroes. So the heroes that I'm going to be using today, we want to make sure we're not resetting, and we'll just reset the heroes that are in my other lineups. So I want to be using Kelly and Rebecca for our Explore push. So those are 2 heroes that I'm going to be focused on. My next best hero to go with it is going to be Kin. Unfortunately, these don't match up. I would like to run Marlin, but I can't reset Kelly without breaking the contract of Marlin, and I don't want to spend the gold reassigning the contract and breaking it again. So we're just going to run Kelly, Rebecca, Kin. So we will be resetting our Marlin. We will also be resetting our Koba and our Alyssa. These are all supplemental heroes that I use to create the split lineups with. We'll also reset Jesse. And lastly, we will reset Roland. So this way we're saving our 2 best tanks to put into the lineup. So now we have 5 primary heroes left that are highly leveled up, and we can go level them up even further. Because Zombie Raid is the first event that we're going to be doing today, we want to be leveling up our backline heroes evenly. So we're going to start leveling up Kelly. And as you see, we had 1.8 million memento, so we can keep going with Kelly. We can get her to 95 easily with the rest of them, and we can even go further and get her to 100 if we want. I think I'm gonna get my Rebecca to 100 rather than Kelly, just because she's a higher rank hero, and they're both extremely viable for when we go to push our Explore. Because we still have plenty of memento left over and we want to put this into our heroes, I'm going to check and see if I have the items enough to push Kelly up another level. We're always going to start by using the ones that are not time dependent. The ones that are time dependent, we always want to save until we really need them, because we could do a nice explore push and use these afterward, and therefore they become much more valuable to us because we will get more memento from each item for being at a higher explore level. So hopefully we can make it. Yes, we made it, and we still have some left over. Perfect. We'll go ahead and push Kelly to level 100 as well. You do not have to be able to get to level 100 to do this strategy. You can do it at any level where all of these things line up for you. Anytime you reset heroes, make sure you go back through and check any place that your lineups are used and apply the new heroes to your lineups. Very critical to not forget this step, as you may find yourself having your lineups in places that only have level 1 heroes. So we're going to leave that one there. We're going to go into battle and we're going to check our arena defensive line. So right now it's not the final day, so I don't have a defensive line in, so it's not a worry here. I'm not trying to push ranks in it. I'm just trying to get the final reward each day. I already pushed this one today because I had easy lineups. I was already a low rank, but if you're a higher up rank, this strategy doing one lineup is going to help you push arena for the day. We also want to check our summit arena. Now here there's not going to be a whole lot we can do about, because we are sunk down into having heroes for one lineup instead of two. So we do want to go through this process as quickly as possible to get our defending lineups leveled back up to where we want them. So we're going to roll through all these tasks back to back and then reset our heroes back to the way they were afterward. Being the zombie raid, we only want to have one truck defending our fortress. We don't want a second truck, especially one that has something like gathering heroes in it, because if our first truck gets defeated, this next truck is just going to get wiped out, and we're going to be healing all the troops that were in this one. So we want to fully build up a single truck and then send our other trucks out gathering or something, or remove all the heroes from them. Make sure if you have an alternative truck like the Gatherer, or you have War Beasts, that you're equipping them to the truck that you're going to be leaving home. Because we broke the hero contract with Kelly and Marlin, and we're not going to be using Marlin, we're going to instead contract Bolton with Kelly to get our tank a higher rank so that he can tank more of the damage for us. As right now with the lineup that we're using, we don't need to veteran a backline hero. Here we see the zombie raid is starting. We have our one truck with our super leveled up heroes, and we're ready to go. Now we wait. The best I've done in zombie raid so far without doing this reset strategy was I completed wave 28. So the goal here is to see if we can complete wave 29 or 30. We'll check back in when we get there. As you wait for zombie raid to conclude, two things you could be doing are doing your daily arenas and doing some explore pushes if you haven't already done the reset strategy to push explore. We'll get into more of that in a moment, but for arena, before I did the reset, my lineup was sitting somewhere around 711. So if I go ahead and fill this lineup out, we're now up at 735. So that gave me a nice little boost. to my lineup power to go into the arena with. So that might help me win some matches otherwise wouldn't win for the day. This isn't a huge boost to your arena rewards. It just makes it easier to do the arena at the time that you have your heroes reset to one lineup, because that one lineup is going to be stronger than your others. So here we see maybe I could beat this guy. These others I would be able to beat anyway. But if we continue through 6 rounds of matches or more, if you're buying more, you will likely encounter a match that you wouldn't have been able to beat, but now you can while you're reset. So if you're doing the reset strategy, you might as well do arena during that time. For Explore, if you haven't done the reset strategy before, go ahead and push as many levels of it as you can with the current setup. After the zombie raid is done, we're going to be making some slight modifications to the zombie raid setup so that we can push Explore even further. But it's best to go ahead and get whatever victories you can done now while you wait for the zombie raid. And then after you reset, you should be able to push a little bit further than that. Here we see wave 29 and 30 are coming in. Wave 29 we lost to previously, and it looks like we beat it. Yeah, we got it. So 50 seconds until that final wave 30 comes. So already we have beat a wave that we were previously unable to beat when we had our memento coins split into 2 lineups with our heroes separated. Even with doing the 2 split, just resetting those 5 weaker heroes and putting the mementos into our 3 backline heroes for our primary lineup, getting those level ups on those heroes already enabled us to push 1 additional wave, which, hey, if we're resetting to do an Explore push, we might as well do it at this time and get those free rewards. Here we go. Wave 30. Can we do it? Did we beat it? It looks like we beat it. Wave 30. So we were unable to beat wave 29 without resetting. And we beat wave 30 after the reset. Perfect. Now we can dive into doing our Endless Zombie Legion. Since our lineup has more power than it did before, we'll go ahead and hit this with an attack. First, let's take a look at what our damage was before we reset. So 7.9. Let's go ahead and hit it and see what we get. So this one we got 6.9. So likely what that is due to is either there's some tricks with Zombie Legion. It's possible that having our mixed hero factions might have weakened us a little bit, or that previously we had yellow and green faction in. Here we added blue, and possibly yellow was strong against it today, or blue is weak against it today. It cycles what faction is strong against it on a daily basis. So it looks like we probably just added in today's weaker faction versus when we had the Marlin as the yellow faction being a stronger faction against it today. So that one is kind of hit or miss. Ideally, you want the faction bonus here, but we really want Rebecca and Kelly to be able to push Explore with. And so I wanted to minimize the amount of diamonds I use for resetting heroes to try and do everything all at once. So we didn't get that faction bonus because we want the best heroes for Explore, and I don't really have somebody great to supplement Kin with at the moment who's high enough rank to compare to his power even without the faction bonus. But if you're fortunate enough to have 3 heroes who are ranked up enough that have the faction bonus together in the back line that you can also utilize for Explore, then this strategy will probably work really well for you for Endless Legion. Unfortunately, it didn't for me today, but another day it should. So now that Zombie Raid is over, it's time to focus on pushing Explore. The one change that we're going to make in our lineup is we want Rebecca and Kelly to be our 2 primary heroes here. Our third backline hero doesn't matter because we're going to be replacing this hero with an Alliance mercenary. So the ideal scenario for this hero is to reset it and bring its level somewhat close to what our tank's level is and raise our tanks up with the memento that we got from that hero. It really doesn't matter who our third hero is. We're not going to be using them. So we might as well just level up somebody who we do use outside of this. So we're just going to go ahead and put Kin to 75 at the moment. We'll see where that gets us in terms of leveling up our tanks. Now, we're not too concerned about doing the agility trick with our tanks. We can be cautious about that, but we can always recruit somebody else's tank and use that for agility trick as well. That's specifically for if we're facing a Kelly or Rebecca, but we can also have our Kelly or Rebecca kill theirs before theirs kills our backline heroes as well. We'll show an example of that if we get to see it, but for now, let's see, one of our tanks is to 80. Let's go ahead and bring our other tank up. 80 looks good. It looks like we can actually push it further. Kin's at 75. Yeah, let's bring our tanks up a little bit more. We can bring them each up 1 level. Or 1 round of levels, so 5 levels. And then maybe we can bring our Kin up again as well. Turn 50 is enough to bring Kin up. Perfect. So the reason that we want to balance these 3 with our tanks as priority and our third backline hero's lowest priority is so that we can recruit the highest level mercenary possible while also having our frontline defenses as strong as possible so they can tank as many attacks as possible. This third hero, the only thing they are there for is to have the level increase our Alliance mercenary level, since that is based on your top 5 heroes' average level. Now that our heroes are the levels we want them, we're going to go ahead and check out who our next opponent lineup is going to be. So we do have a Kelly in there, so we either need to kill that Kelly before she gets her ability off, or we need to do the agility trick to have a tank soak up her damage while our attackers are able to kill the other heroes and then eventually her. So let's go ahead and see if we can do it without the agility trick. We'll just recruit any old hero to put in there. So we're going to go to the Alliance Mercenaries. And it doesn't really matter who we recruit here. It does, but it doesn't. We're just going to try and go with a Alyssa. Why not? So we'll go into the Explore, challenge it up. So here we have our lineup in. We want to make sure we kill that Kelly first. In Explore, things are a little bit different with Kelly and Rebecca than they are in other game modes. Typically, they tend to target straight across from them. Sometimes it's different, but usually they'll target straight across from them. So we either want Rebecca or Kelly across from the enemy Kelly. I think I'm going to put Rebecca there just so her and Alyssa both target the same hero with their basic attacks. And I'll put Kelly across from Benson, as I think Laurel is possibly the least threat out of that back lineup. So let's give it a go and see what happens. So there we saw our Rebecca and Kelly kill the enemy backline heroes before they were able to use their abilities. And so that enabled us to win the fight pretty easily because our heroes went first and they one-shot the enemies. So we're going to go ahead and see who our next opponent is. So this one has a Blanche. Blanche is a little bit concerning because she also can one-shot a random backline hero. So we may recruit a tank here just to soak up that Blanche's damage. We'll go ahead and return that Alyssa that we borrowed. Let's grab Enrique, I think. He's not the greatest hero for us, but we're having a pretty easy time so far. So I don't want to recruit the best heroes that I could put in my lineup yet. I want to wait until the levels get harder and pushing my limit of what I'm able to take so that I'm not wasting recruitment of good heroes on easy levels. So what we're hoping for here is that Blanche attacks straight across and hits that Enrique. Another option that we have is to just put the Kelly or Rebecca down there. But if that Blanche can just keep hitting that Enrique, I'm fine with killing the other two heroes first and then just killing her after. Either way works for us. If we were going to try and kill the Blanche first, I think I would have recruited somebody other than Enrique, maybe a damage dealer or an Alyssa or a Jessie, something like that. But let's see how this goes. So things still seem pretty easy. I'm not sure I actually need to be recruiting heroes right now, as my lineup seems to have a pretty easy time with these. I assumed because of my last push, and this is where I stopped, that I was going to be having a harder time than this against these enemy lineups. But it looks like it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I've done an explore push, and it's going pretty well for us. So I'm just going to roll with my kin in the lineup instead of recruiting to see how far I can make it with this setup. So let's just go ahead and fast forward some battles to see how far I make it just using this kin, and we'll get back to the strategies when I'm at a point where I'm having trouble beating it with my core 5 heroes. We're now at the point where we were unable to beat a battle because we could not kill Laurel in one shot with our Kelly's ability. So our Kelly is no longer effective for us to one shot an enemy. So what we need to do in that battle is to recruit a mercenary that is going to soak up that Blanche's attack so that we can have our Rebecca kill the Laurel in one shot. This is the phase where it does take a little bit of guesswork to figure out what you're going to need for a hero. We're going to try out this Lun. It's not the best Lun in the list, but again, we don't want to burn up the best ones yet if we don't have to. So we're just going to take that kin out of our lineup, put a Lun in, and we're going to hope he soaks up the damage from that Blanche. If he doesn't, we're going to restart it. Let's see what happens here. So we backed out of that last fight because the Blanche attacked the Rebecca up there. Let's move the Lun up there and see what happens. We also have the option of moving Lun to the front line and moving one of our tanks to the back line if we find this more feasible. Let's see what happens when we do that. So that last battle, our Rebecca killed the Blanche before she ever attacked the tank, which made the two area damage dealers able to both hit my backline heroes, which did them enough damage to take them down to cause me to lose the fight. So what we're going to do this time is just switch Kelly and Rebecca. So hopefully Rebecca kills the Laurel, and Kelly will kill the Blanche after the Blanche's ability hits the tank, possibly from taking one single target and one multi-target. This will spread the damage out enough to where we will survive it and win. Let's see what happens. So we were victorious on that one. Just from moving around our lineup, we lost with the same lineup 2 different ways, and just moving it around, we figured out how to beat it without going and getting a stronger mercenary. Now this one has a Kelly, so again, we're probably going to have to kill that Kelly, but we're now down to only one hero that can kill an enemy backline hero before they use an ability. So we're not going to be able to kill the Kelly and another one. And if we leave Marlon and Benson untouched and able to use their abilities on us, our backline's going to get destroyed. So we do need to soak that Kelly's damage while we kill Benson or Marlon first, probably Benson. So let's see about getting a tank that can soak that Kelly's damage. So here I recruited another Lun from Alliance Mercenaries. Now I did just check my tank's AGI, and they're both higher than my Rebecca and Kelly. So we're gonna find out if this Lun will get hit by that Kelly. If not, we may have to recruit a weaker tank or reset one of our tanks to be able to soak that Kelly's damage. But we're gonna find out what happens here. So the Lun I had recruited was a 3-star Lun. Let's recruit a weaker one that will look for no level ups on the armor. Maybe we will go with, it doesn't look like we have one. Let's try somebody else, maybe Enrique. So here we are kind of gambling. We want a hero that's low enough rank with low armor levels so that the agility is lower than our backline heroes, but we also want them to be strong enough to survive at least one Kelly ability, maybe 2. This one, 1-star with low armor, maybe that'll work out for us. Let's give it a try. So we're gonna find out right away if that Kelly gonna hit that Enrique. No. So Enrique still has too high of agility. So we're back recruiting another Enrique. The last one, we can scroll to the bottom to see what we got. So it was a 1-star. So let's try something like, maybe it's a 1-star mythic, so maybe 2-star not mythic. That one, the person doesn't have auto recruitment on. Looks like all of these have leveled up armor. So we'll try. Now, this is not ideal. You always want to leave level 0 armor so that you can get the set abilities. The only reason to leave the armor low level is so that you don't increase your agility. So it's easier to keep the tank's agility lower than your backline, but you still want the armor pieces on the hero. This player probably is just using a different tank, and so they just pulled the armor off for another tank. But we'll give that one a go anyway, see how it does. These Enriques that I'm recruiting, I'm not too married to, as they're weaker, and so there's plenty of weaker tanks to go around that we can pick and choose from to keep trying this with. It's not a big deal if we lose with them. We can just go recruit another. All right, Kelly hit our Enrique. That's what we want. Now let's hope we deal some damage and are able to finish this off. Ideally, the Enrique would have survived that hit. Now there's a chance that we could lose, yet we're going to lose our Kelly before we get an ability. Hopefully Rebecca kills that. Oh, that Kelly's going to use her ability. Yep, we lose this one. So we'll go ahead and cancel out of there. So we need a slightly stronger Enrique that can tank that Kelly damage and survive one ability. So the 1-star was too weak. So let's go ahead and try a 2-star. Enrique. 2-star, we'll go ahead and grab it. And start it back up. Fingers crossed we win it here. Kelly's still targeting Enrique, that's good. Hopefully he survives that first ability. So that Kelly is going before we're going now. So that's good, we soaked up that. We're still gonna lose though. We got rid of that Marlin, that Kelly's gonna get hit again. And then we're still going to get hit from that Kelly. Nice, we beat it though. Maybe we will win this. Possibly. Our tanks have to hold out for long enough for Rebecca to kill those tanks. It looks like we're gonna do it. So our next enemy lineup looks to be similar. One thing we do have the option to do instead of trying to recruit a tank that is going to be able to soak the Kelly hits without our Kelly and Rebecca taking them is we could, as we're leveling up our tanks, keep one of them lower specifically for when we're facing Kellys and just put that one in the back line and just recruit a really strong tank for the front line. And this is a good way to ensure that you always have a tank to soak Kelly or Rebecca attacks. The reason I don't do that is, for one, there's plenty of tanks in the Alliance recruitment that I can recruit and stick in that spot that work just well. And also, it's not all that frequent that you're going to see a Kelly or a Rebecca in the enemy lineup. We just happen to see 2 in a row here, but that's not all that common. And so in the matches where you don't see a Kelly or Rebecca, you're going to have a weaker tank in your front row, which may cause you to lose the battle. You can do it either way, whichever way you prefer. It is kind of easier to just keep one tank at a lower agility and put it in the back row whenever you see a Kelly, as opposed to trying to recruit and find a tank that's going to soak those Kelly hits. But whichever way you prefer, either one really works. But since we have a similar battle here, I'm just going to start recruiting and fast forward. You guys understand the concept of Kelly and making sure you don't leave 2 area damage dealers both using abilities to hit your back line. Essentially, we're just going to keep implementing these strategies until we get to the point where both of our heroes are no longer going to go before any of the enemy backline. So right now Kelly we need more luck on her in order for her to go first. She's going after their heroes, but Rebecca is still going before most of them. Last time Kelly went before her, but we're going to keep pushing until Rebecca can no longer kill an enemy hero before the ability goes off, and that's probably where this push is going to end. So, Turdlings, after racing through all the explore levels I could beat, we made it to 30-1. We started out at 28-5. So we progressed 15 levels today from doing the reset trick. And this is 15 levels further than the last time I did the reset trick 2 or 3 weeks ago, roughly. So resetting your heroes really helps you push a lot further in Explore, and timing it when your alliance is doing a zombie raid also helps you complete that zombie raid, or at least push further than you have been able to do before. So for me, I think I'll start doing Explore pushes on the zombie raid days, just so I can maximize the points of each until I get to the point where I can do zombie raid without having to reset the heroes. When you're all finished with everything, don't forget to reset your heroes again back to the way they were when you had multiple lineups. Redo your hero contract, your veteran contract, and then you'll be all set, and you'll be getting that extra memento from Explore. So this concludes the guide for comboing your zombie raid and your Explore, and while you're at it, taking advantage of the strong team for pushing Arena and the Endless Zombie Horde. If you have any questions on what was discussed today, or have any comments for strategies that we can involve with any of these topics, be sure to leave it in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and stay solid.